Howdy, howdy, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to the show. The show? Yeah, the show. Because we are live and in color. We're going to be talking about my brand new close-up show that I'm putting together. And we're going to do this in a series of parts. And the first part is going to incorporate some ideas from Rise Magic. Chandler Riggs put out a video couple of years ago building a magic routine. Now his idea was based on card tricks, and he does give examples in that, and I will put up top that video so you can go check out the original. But we're going to be talking about these points. Now each video that I'm going to do in this series is going to incorporate different ideas. This one's going to be setting up the premise, the plot, the ideas, following along. If you are a new magician or a magician who's just getting started into building routines, this is a great space for you to get some ideas, some inspiration, and I'll also send you at the end some great resources at the end of every episode. So, number one, prove yourself. Yeah, prove yourself. Now, the different criteria for each of these, if we go into a little bit of explanation to them, is simple. So, proving yourself happens within 30 seconds of getting started. I mean, you pretty much go up to somebody, they know you're doing magic, you're doing your opener, and this has got to be something flashy. It's got to be something that they don't have time to catch up with. They're just seeing magic before their very eyes. So it's a great place to start. Number two, now that you've proved yourself, you have to now show off. You have to establish that rapport that you've started in the first part. Now, this is going to be your best piece of magic. It could be up to 5 minutes. This is very important. This is your storyline. This is where you start to build the crescendo of your arc, right? Now you might think this is only 2 out of 5, but this is the body of what you're doing. This is the very essence of your show. This is your best piece of magic because you've got into it. Now you've got to give them a show, right? At the end of showing off, you're going to do something absolutely brilliant with number 3. Interaction. Yeah, you've got to interact with your audience. This is a great time to introduce this into your show because you've already established rapport. You've set up the premise of everything that you are doing with your storyline from showing off. And now you get to interact with the audience. Now that means you're interacting with one or more or all of your audience at the same time. Interaction is so very important. Now we are at the midway point to talk about the idea that you can incorporate all of these ideas into each section of your routine, because you're going to want to have a longer, depending on how long your show is, you're going to have different sections that may incorporate one or all of these into each section of your show based on the proximity, if you will, of the situation. Number 4 is going to be mental magic. Now, mental magic is very important because this is like showing off. This is kind of like interaction, showing off, and proving yourself all at the same time. And this is magic that happens with very little prop work. This is like a code breaker or something of the like that you want to convince them of real magic. You've already established the story. The story is already there. You're now so part of the plot as you come up to the climax that this mental magic, they need to walk away being breathless, right? That's how good this needs to be. Now, in Rise Magic, they recommended the Invisible Deck. It's a beautiful piece of magic, and it's a great way to have some interaction. It's a great way to show off, and it's just another way of proving yourself. Again, all roll into one, but it's happening in the spectator's mind or minds. Now, if you watch the podcast, The Magic Guys, this is actually quite an interesting time to bring this up as an example, because they were just talking about it yesterday on Monday, because they do podcasts on Monday. There was a magician, Darren Brown, who had a situation where he created an effect, which was mentalism, hypnosis, that the audience actually were spooked. They were like, it was too far for them. And so when you have a show that is so good that people come to you afterwards saying, I'm still under the effects of your show, that's stellar, right? So that is the pinnacle of mental magic. Now, you might not want to go that far, but somewhere in the middle, if you can even get half that, that's great. So mental magic, something that's happening in the minds of the spectators. I would use another example, if I can remember the name of the movie, was with Will Smith, and they were doing the betting and stuff. It's all over YouTube. And so basically what happens is, this whole time they're setting up this guy, and they have the guy pick a number, and it's the honor system, right? Because he could have lied, but he didn't. They're gambling. He picks a number that only he knows, and the girl guesses it. That right there is what your show should be. That right there, that moment is what you should aim for. To number 5. Number 5 is a beautiful, beautiful moment called the leave behind. Now, in this moment, basically what's happening is you're going to do your magic, and now you're going to leave a memento. This is something that's a physical memento, that you've left them with the experience, the story that you've told them, maybe the knowledge that you've imparted. You've blown their minds with your mental magic, and you've involved them in the magic, so they've incorporated with it. And now this is the leave behind. This is the thing that they get to take home and put on the shelf, or use themselves, depending on what kind of show you have. Some people like to give out decks, some people like business cards. If you're going to do the business card as the leave behind, it probably should incorporate some type of magic. I'm trying to put together some business cards that's actually going to be a That's what we got for the leave behind. So in conclusion, we've got our 5 points with some information thrown in there. We have a lot of more information coming your way with this brand new Alive and in Color series. So thank you, everybody, and remember, stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next one.